Hey everyone, Felix from Nintendo Life here. And you may have missed this, but this was actually revealed back when they had the big Switch 2 Direct. And yes, we have some games that will get a paid upgrade like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but there's actually 12 games, as we know of right now, that are getting a free upgrade. What does this include? We don't exactly know, but I today am joined by Alex and Sion to talk about what these upgrades could be.
Free?
I feel like not a lot of people talk about this. I feel like it just flew by, at least it flew by my radar, and it's like, what? Whoa, we have 12 games to talk about. The first one, Alex, you'll have a lot to say about this one, because it's ARMS.
Yes. You wanted to lead with that. Is it in alphabetical order? We will never know. We will know if we write them all alphabetically. Yes, ARMS. This is going to be an interesting one. My gut reaction is that it's just going to be simple, like higher resolution, maybe 120 frames a second. That'd be lovely. But aside from that, unless there's some sort of update whereby the Joy-Con 2 can be more accurate or something like that with the twisting motion that you do, because you punch and twist it, you get, whoa, it curves around and whoa. That's how you play ARMS. That, apart from that, that's the only sort of like interesting thing I can think of. I don't know what else they could do, really, you know.
How's the frame rate in ARMS? Sorry, I've not played the game at all. It's perfect? Okay.
So I imagine we're probably going to look at 120 frames a second because it runs beautifully on Switch.
Yeah, with a game like that, it would be nice to just have as much as possible. Those like 1v1, Smash Bros. Is not on the list, or spoilers, but you know, stuff like that could also use a nice free upgrade.
It would be cool if Nintendo kind of, tries to take a bunch of their classic games and see how many of them they can make run 120 FPS and then have kind of sort of like, I could see Nintendo releasing like a graphic, that's like, all of these games are supported at 120 FPS on Nintendo Switch 2. And then it claps or whatever, but...
Only it doesn't, because they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But the only other thing that I could see that would be interesting is some sort of mouse mode control, which, sort of instead of punching you push it forward and you can guide it swiddly style. That might not work. It might be a bit convoluted, but I could see them playing around with it potentially, just throwing it in as a freebie.
But another game that they're just throwing in as a freebie, which personally, I don't have a lot of experience with this one. It is Brick Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. So yes, these are in alphabetical order. I actually didn't realize that. I just took the list from the website. But yes, sorry, I gave it all away. Have any of you guys played this?
Yeah, I played a little bit of this when it first came out. I played with one of my nephews too for a little while, and it was really cute, and it was a fun family game. Like it's definitely something I think I would like if I was a parent. I would just have it on the shelf and see if the kids would want to play it. I can't really see how this game could really get any visual enhancement.
120 frames per second.
Right. Brain versus brain combat. But I mean, I think they could just up-res the assets to 4K. That would make it look a little bit nicer, but the game definitely doesn't need any sort of enhancements in that regard. I think, though, did we learn that this is going to be one of the games that is offered through the Game Share feature where you can play two people at the same time?
Yes, that is one of the games. So it might just be that they add this feature and that's why it's a free upgrade, but it doesn't do anything else.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it maybe ran at a higher resolution. Maybe? I don't know. It doesn't really, with respect to the game, as much as it deserves, I don't really see any need to increase the resolution. It's fine as it is, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's probably this. It's Game Share, innit?
And the next game, I also feel like it's a game that runs really well. Maybe it's also because that's also one of the games that has the Game Share added, and it's Captain Toad Treasure Tracker.
Yeah, I mean, Captain Toad in 4K. They did a VR version. It seems like an obvious one, doesn't it?
Do we think that some of these upgrades also is 4K? Or do we just think it is just a better, it just runs better? Because I'm not sure, I feel like they would charge for that, just like they do with Breath of the Wild, right?
Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they come with other enhancements. It runs at a higher resolution, a higher frame rate, but it may be that some of the physics were tied to the frame rate, so it needed more work. They're also bigger, more substantial games. There are also high resolution textures there now as well, so it's not just a straight let's sort of uncap the frame rate and see how we go, which is what I assume we're going to get with some of these.
What's weird though too, because Nintendo, right, has always just decided to just they pick and choose. They have favorite children. You see this with Donkey Kong Country Returns, which released at $59.99 US, at least full retail, and then Metroid Prime Remastered was $20 cheaper than that. And Metroid Prime Remastered, as I feel like you would love to point out, Alex, had a lot more work put into it, and they charged less. So it is going to be interesting to see kind of what updates Nintendo decides to let out for free and what's in those updates. But so I wouldn't be surprised if something like Captain Toad does have 4K now, and that'd be really nice.
Yeah, it would be nice, like if in the 2-player mode, if you can like share that, and then one player plays as one player and the other one plays as another. Because the 2-player mode works all right on a single system, but the camera, like both people control the camera. I can't quite remember, but the camera is weird because you want to be able to control the camera, but when you're 2 people, it can be really confusing at times. So that would be quite a nice update, in my humble opinion. The next game is also a game that would benefit a lot from the game share feature, and it's Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, because there's actual games. I mean, they even had, like, you could download an additional app so people could play certain games like poker, games where you would be able to, you don't want to be able to see everyone's cards. So I felt like Nintendo kind of did it with very, very select games before. We also had Pac-Man Versus, also had the app, and now it's just like, we're bringing it to more games. Personally, I love the feature on the DS, and I've used it a lot, like for Mario Party and especially Mario Kart. When you were a kid, maybe one person had Mario Kart and they could just share it with everyone else at school. It was great.
When this was first announced as well, I was kind of unsure if this was going to be like a, like how the DS had the DS Download Play like app, or the section in the console itself where you went to kind of go like search for, software to download from either a Nintendo like relay unit or from a friend. I think Nintendo has confirmed now, correct me if I'm wrong, that Nintendo's confirmed that the games will be updated by a case-by-case basis, and then they'll be able to send out data or share online, or however it ends up being. But it's the games will be updated themselves. There won't be a download play option on your Switch 2.
It's not a system-wide thing or anything like that.
Yeah. I imagine we'll see them on the actual cases also. This just like download play on the DS, you would see on the back, like this supports up to 8 people download play. Maybe there's going to be something similar. Next game is a game I actually forgot was even a thing. It's Game Builder Garage.
Oh, Game Builder Garage, my beloved. I don't know why they're doing an update on this. Okay, no, I know. I've just tweaked it.
Yeah.
It uses the IR camera in the game as like one of the nodes, one of the features. They are going to need to disable that in order to make it fully compatible. And there may even be in like the, I don't want to say story mode, but like tutorial mode, there may even be something where you are required to use the infrared camera. So they'll need to kill that.
If you make a really complicated game in Game Builder Garage, does it struggle to run at all, or is it just like, because I know where some of you did some live streams with it, like making some games live. I personally don't have games, so.
I can't, to be honest, I can't remember to say sort of solidly one way or the other, but I imagine you could probably push it to run. I mean, it would be great. There was always a hard limit on the number of nodes you could include, probably to stop people from tanking the performance and, sort of making the game crash or trying to use too much RAM or something like that. So it's possible that they're going to bump that up. I don't know. But it's kind of pleasing because I really like Game Builder Garage, and it's just nice to see it acknowledged as much as anything.
So, the next game, I would actually love to see run better. Well, no, it's not that it runs bad. I would just love to see it in 4K, 120 frames per second. That's not how it is. It's either 4K or either 120 frames per second. But it's New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Now, this is the only one, like Mario Wonder is not on here. It's only Mario Bros. U Deluxe. What do you guys think about this game? Because I know there's a lot of mixed feelings. I hear some people think it's actually a really good game. Other people's which is completely burned out and don't care for it at all.
I didn't give it a chance at all, so I would definitely love to bow out of this.
I can also take your spot because I did play it through completion. And
I've played it through completion twice on 2 different consoles.
Nice.
You poor soul.
And it's fine.
Sion, you haven't even played it. It's
I did get it back in the day, and I just fell off immediately. But you guys know, I just don't like the new look. So that's
I will say I really like the game. I would say
Yeah.
it's probably one of my favorite Mario Bros. Games. I thought it was great, just because to me it was just an improvement on so much that Wii did, and I loved Wii. And this was just like, oh, now it looks a lot better, and there's new levels and new power-ups and of course, I really like the seamless world. I remember that was really, really cool going from Wii. All in all, I think it would be nice to see this just even crisper on the TV, and maybe you can even game share it so that you can control one character and like, I don't know. I think that could be really, really great. But one game that could really actually 2 games. We're being cheeky here. But 2 games that could really use the upgrade. It's Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. 2 different games.
Yeah!
They are confirmed that they're getting a free upgrade.
I feel like I'll finally be able to give these games a chance. I've been wanting to play them for a long time. I know a lot of people still love them through all of their flaws, but I just...
Which is insane.
Well, I mean, hey, sometimes when you only have breads and beans to eat,
make beans
sometimes
on
it's all you
toast.
know. It's all you know sometimes.
I love beans on toast, actually.
Beans on toast
Actually,
is the bomb.
I love Pokemon Scarlet and Violet then. If it can run stable and actually look all right, I mean, obviously, it's still gonna, like, all the detail in the house is not gonna get fixed and all that, but if it can just run stable, if the characters don't pop in and pop out whenever they go like 3 meters away, that would be lovely. Imagine that, a video game that actually runs. Whoa, that's crazy.
Alex is like biting his tongue over there almost, it looks like. But so what's on your mind, Alex? What are you thinking about?
I think the problems with Scarlet and Violet go far deeper than performance. I think.
Oh, you don't think it's gonna fix it?
No, I think that there are fundamental issues with the way that the game is designed. And there are also some things that even performance can't fix, like I'm entering a battle and now the camera is half under the ground. I don't know whether
Stuff
they
like
ever
that, yeah,
patched that out.
glitches. Very true, but I feel like with performance, at least, you know, very quickly after the game was out, you saw like people had modded it, and it just ran perfectly on PC and stuff, and obviously,
yeah, but it's just I just don't like playing the game for a number of reasons, and its performance is definitely, it drags the experience down, but honestly, it ain't just that. I think that fundamentally, at a core level, it needs a big shake-up. There's just a lot, like, the way that the world is laid out. It's like, you can go almost anywhere straight away, and it's like, oh, can I? Are there any benefits to it? Not really. Maybe you'll catch an over-level Pokemon, but they kind of block that out as well, from what I remember, and fairly rightly so. But, you know, scale the damn gyms depending on which gyms you've done. I don't want to go, like, I did what I thought was the first gym.
They don't scale.
No, I thought I did the first gym, carried on, did what I thought was the second, third, fourth. Turns out I'd missed the first gym, and then I was just like, oh, you got to go and do this. And it's like, oh, okay, went back, and it's just painfully easy. It would have been a really interesting fight, maybe, or a vaguely interesting fight, if I'd been able to go back and it would have been a challenge. But it wasn't, because it was the first damn gym. They looked at me with my level 40s and my level 50s, and they're like, I've got a level 18 to show you, baby.
I mean, it is still a kid's game at the end of the day. But I get what you mean. It would have been nice to see that scale, because it's not like kids can't play that way. It would still be just fine.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's their first open world game. Obviously, they're not going to get everything right, but there was just so much wrong with it. I had a hard time getting immersed. I don't know if it was the performance. I don't know if it was just because there was no voice acting at all. It's just like, bing, bing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It just felt very... I couldn't get immersed in the game. It was very, very hard for me. And I think my hope is that if it just ran good, I could. Because I know some people really love the game. It sold bonkers. Like, it was a very popular game. It was just insane how badly optimized it was. And hopefully they fixed that. But we still have more games to talk about. Let's not get all...
True.
And we have good games, great games to talk about that we will not sit here and criticize so much. Because, negativity... we have enough of that. So let's talk about Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, which is...
You played this one recently, didn't you, again? Just to go check up on it, yeah?
So I've actually never really played Bowser's Fury. I don't know, I didn't really get into it. And now I wanted to go into it again, and something was really weird. I was like, wait, this runs horrible. And I was playing it in handheld, it felt really choppy. It's like, wait, this is 30 FPS. And sure, 30 FPS can look great. In Bowser's Fury, it looks... I can't. It feels so wrong. Then I put it on the TV.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah.
Put it on the TV, and it just, whoa, it runs so good. What's going on? Turns out in handheld, it just halves the frame rate, which I imagine is something that in the new update, it can just always run good if it's in handheld or in docked. I don't know a lot of games that do that. I didn't really know that was a thing even, that it would just run at a half frame rate.
This is one that on the website, they also confirmed this is going to be a game share game. So, you can do it online or locally with game chat.
And that's awesome.
I'm nervous that all the update will be for this is just that.
Yeah.
That it won't have a resolution boost or something. But if
Nintendo
can just
good.
unlock the frame or just enhance the frames a little bit, that would be enough.
I imagine it will be at least 60 frames a second on handheld. And you can... share this clip back at me if it turns out to be wrong, but I think they already have the 60 frames a second version mode. They already have that there. It's baked in. All they need to do is just say, do this one when you run in this one when you're on handheld. It's easy. It's the easiest fix in the world.
And this is only for Bowser's Fury, by the way, not 3D World. This is
just 3D World is 60
just wanted to make that.
both. Yeah. But I imagine also game share is going to be a thing, you know. You can just say to a friend, hey, do you want to play as Bowser Jr.? And they can go, no! And then you can play 3D World.
But no, I mean, Bowser's Fury, it seems really fun. Like, a lot of people have speculated that will be the next Mario game will just be completely open world. And that is what we kind of see there. It's just a little open world with different islands which you can go to seamlessly. And all that. I mean, it really rocks.
Like Sonic Frontiers.
Oh my god.
I still like Sonic Frontiers.
But talking about Mario, Super Mario specifically, why don't we talk about another game which is also getting a free boost, which is a game that runs, to me, it just runs perfectly on Switch. It's Super Mario Odyssey. On the Switch, it does start to look like it has aged a little bit with the jagged edges and stuff, but it looks great. It holds up so great today.
I know the first area I'm going to test.
What is that?
The very first area I'm going to test is when you enter New Donk City, you get off the Odyssey, you go down that wire, you go down that. That is where you see frame drops. I've used that as a test to test whether the OLED was any more powerful even remotely than the original Switch when it first came out, and had a lot of comments going, obviously it's the same, and it's like, oh, yeah, but I'm just checking. You know, chill out. A lot of people got angry at that, and it's like, I'm just checking. I wasn't certain it was going to be better, but now we know.
The reason maybe, I thought it ran perfectly. I think this was before the time that I feel like it is just a point in your life where suddenly, frame rates matter now. It's like, some people, they never reach that point. They can't tell the difference. Like, I guess this runs better, but they can't really tell. So this was before. I didn't see frame rates. It was just, hey, this runs great, you know. And
your frontal lobe must be finally fully developed, Felix.
I mean, I was 15 when I played it, so it wasn't fully developed.
Of course, sure. Of course you were, yeah.
But I would love to see this game like really crisp 4K. Like I would pay for an upgrade for this game because oh my god.
Yeah, you'd go back, collect some moons.
I have actually gone a little bit back. I played some here the other day just because it had been so long. I was on a podcast where we did like a retro review of Mario Odyssey, and I just had to get familiar. And it's just it is still just one of the very best games ever made. But the next game,
do a hard mode.
That would be great.
Ooh, a hard mode.
Game's too easy. It's not that.
That's
easy.
just Luigi's Balloon World. If you play it right.
That's true. Yeah.
Every moon is a custom moon in hard mode. They've all been placed by Video Game Donkey.
But this next game could really use a frame rate update because it is The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and Cian is always he's way ahead of us. He has it right there. Oh my god.
I'm ready. The day that it gets updated, boop, popping it in the Switch 2.
We're not ignoring those when it comes to this. This isn't
what?
in alphabetical order.
Well, actually, the series starts with a Z for Zelda. That's what my mom says.
I didn't make this list. I'm just reading up a list which was on the website. If you want to blame anyone, blame Gavin or Nintendo, because he maybe just took it from Nintendo.
This is really exciting though, because with these updates, there's no assuming that it's a game share.
Because it's not. It's not one of the games that is said game share. So this is just hopefully it just runs better, because the game really deserves it. It is really a shame that you go to the big open world and just starts chugging and stuff like that, because it's a gorgeous game.
Even if the resolution doesn't get a boost, like just having that solid frame rate would be really nice. I think this was probably one of the games that also made me realize what frame rate was as well, or how much bad frame rate could affect gameplay, because it was frustrating, like moving from area to area in Link's Awakening, and to see that carried forward into Echoes of Wisdom. Like I thought Grezzo, the developers, would have kind of, I don't know, been able to work it out with Nintendo and make Echoes of Wisdom run a bit smoother, but no, it's just, they're just having a tough time out there. So.
But one game I do want to play, which is the last game, Sian briefly mentioned it, but it's The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, which is also getting an upgrade, and that game also had some frame rate issues. I felt like it was more apparent in that one. If I can't remember, I haven't played it a lot, and that's.
It was more kind of bookended in a way. It would usually start when you transitioned between screens, and it would go and then catch up and be 60 again. Presumably loading something. I'm pretty sure that was the case, or I don't know, unloading something from RAM. I don't know. I'm not a developer. I did not make Link's Awakening. But I know. Both are definitely affected, and I would actually agree that it's more obvious in Link's Awakening, just because there's that big screen transition. Arguably, I think it's worse performance in Echoes of Wisdom, just because it happens more often and it's less predictable and stuff like that. I think it's going to be great to see both of them. I'll probably end up playing Link's Awakening maybe again. I did it not that long ago, but you can wang that sucker out in an afternoon, which I love.
It's got hero mode or something like that as well. It's got that hard mode for you, I think.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's just how I play it. I was like, there's a hard mode? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I really want to give this game a proper shot now that I also... Because I went into this and thought, this is just like a modern take on an old game. And no, it's just an old game with a new lick of paint, essentially. It still feels really old. And I got really surprised about that and had a really tough time with the game. And I think if I go back to it and just have the mindset, this is just like when I played Ocarina of Time on Majora's Mask, I'll have a much better time with it. Because there was really some instances was just like, man, this just feels really old, and my brain is having a hard time because it looks really good. The music is like everything feels so new, but like you only have 6 different directions? 8? Oh my god! What?
8 different directions.
It is wild.
Yes.
Can you imagine having only 6 directions? You can go up, down, left, right, diagonally left, and diagonally down right, but you can't do the other 2.
No.
My Game Boy is broken. I still can't believe that a Game Boy game, an original Game Boy game, got a full from the ground up remake for the Nintendo Switch. That's I guess it's not the first instance of that either, but just really cool.
I love it when, sort of you get this old game design come forward, because I'm an old man who likes that. Particularly given Oblivion. I played that last night, the remaster. And oh my word, I love I don't want to get too sidetracked, but the jank is still there. It's all still there. You can crouch and you can sneak by that rat that cannot be aggroed, and you can get your sneak up to 100 before you even leave the sewer, sir. And I love the fact that they kept that in. I would not have any other chance to say that in a video. I had to get it out now.
I look forward to 30 years down the road and seeing what Alex refers to himself as then. If you're referring to yourself now as an old man...
Spring chicken by that point, I reckon. I reckon it'll go full circle.
But you do know what ends is this video, because we've reached the end of the list. That was all 12 games that are getting a free update. Did you know about these games? Is this old news? And what are some games that you wish would get a free upgrade on the Nintendo Switch 2? Well, let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you sneak, just as Alex has, he sneaked away. Sneak and press that subscribe button. Okay, he's back. His sneak is too high. It's too high, everyone. And yeah, thank you. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Felix from Nintendo Life, out.
Stop right there, criminals!
Ah!
Metroid Prime Remastered. Switch 2, please. Metroid Dread Ultimate.
Ultimator. Hey,
Ultimatum. Play it or don't.